Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're rediving into a story that sounds like it has been ripped straight from a Cold War spy thriller. But it's happening right now, right in the heart of Europe. The European Union is currently grappling with what's being called its biggest espionage scandal in years. And all eyes are on Hungary. So, what's going on? Well, at the center of this storm is Bela Kovacs, a former member of the European Parliament representing Hungary's far-right Jobbik party. He was often nicknamed Kagbela in political circles, and it turns out that nickname might have been more accurate than anyone imagined. After years of investigation and legal battles, Kovacs was recently convicted by Hungary's highest court for spying against EU institutions for Russia. Let's rewind a bit to understand how we got here. Kovacs' political career was always shadowed by suspicion. He had deep, long-standing ties to Russia, having lived and studied there for years. He even had a Russian wife. These connections weren't just personal, they were political. While serving as an MEP in Brussels, he was a vocal advocate for closer ties with Moscow and was known for his pro-Kremlin positions, often echoing Russian talking points on international issues. The official investigation began back in 2014. Hungarian authorities, tipped off by their own intelligence services, started looking into Kovacs' activities. They uncovered what they described as regular, conspiratorial meetings with Russian diplomats who were, in fact, intelligence agents. The accusation was serious, that he was actively feeding information about EU energy policy, elections, and internal parliamentary discussions directly to Russian intelligence. Essentially, he was accused of being a mole, using his privileged access as an elected official to work for a foreign power. The legal process was incredibly long and complicated. It dragged on for nearly a decade, winding its way through the Hungarian court system. There were moments when it seemed like he might get away with it. An initial lower court ruling in 2020 even acquitted him of the most serious espionage charges, citing a lack of concrete evidence. This was a huge blow to the prosecution and raised a lot of questions about the political will to see the case through. However, prosecutors appealed, and the case eventually reached the Curia, Hungary's Supreme Court. In a landmark decision, the court overturned the previous acquittal and found him guilty. They determined that his covert activities did indeed constitute espionage against the institutions of the European Union. The court sentenced him to a 5-year suspended prison sentence and permanently barred him from public office. By the time this final verdict came down, Kovacs had reportedly already moved to Moscow, where he is believed to be living now. So, why is this such a big deal for the EU? First, it confirms a worst-case scenario, that a hostile foreign power successfully placed an agent inside one of the EU's core democratic institutions. An elected official, with access to sensitive debates and documents, was actively working for the Kremlin. This raises alarming questions about the security and vetting processes within the European Parliament. How many others could there be? Are the EU's defenses strong enough to prevent this from happening again? Second, the case shines a harsh spotlight on Hungary's complex relationship with Russia under Prime Minister Viktor Orbán. While the Hungarian authorities did eventually prosecute Kovacs, the decade-long process and initial acquittal led many critics in Brussels to question the government's commitment. Orbán's government has often been accused of being too close to Moscow, and this case adds another layer of complexity to that dynamic. It's a reminder of the deep internal divisions within the EU when it comes to dealing with Russia. This scandal is a wake-up call. It highlights the very real and persistent threat of espionage targeting Western institutions. It's a stark illustration of the hybrid warfare tactics that Russia and other states employ, using politics, information, and covert agents to undermine their rivals from within. As the EU navigates a challenging geopolitical landscape, the Kagbela case will serve as a cautionary tale about the vulnerabilities that lie at the very heart of European democracy. What do you think about this? Does it surprise you that this could happen? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's a complex issue, and I'd love to hear your perspective. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this breakdown interesting and want to stay informed on major global stories, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us keep making these deep dives. We'll see you in the next video.